Bienvenue sur Redynamiser L Entrepreneuriat en Afrique. Aujourd'hui, c'est toujours votre frère Tom, évidemment. Et je suis très ravi d'être avec vous ce samedi, le 5 mars 2022. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons bien sûr faire un autre moyen de faire ce live avec vous, vous qui êtes nos auditeurs ou vous qui avez souscrit à notre chaîne. Et juste pour rappeler que notre chaîne Redynamiser l'entrepreneuriat en Afrique, nous permettons à nos frères de la diaspora, ceux du Togo et bien sûr ceux de l'Afrique, de pouvoir se connecter et faire des business, partager des business d'idées ensemble. Bien sûr, permettre aux entrepreneurs de rencontrer d'autres investisseurs et pour qu'ils puissent bien sûr réaliser ou établir ce business d'opportunités qu'elles peuvent avoir. Donc, sans plus tarder, nous allons rapidement passer à une petite générique et dès qu'on rentre en studio, nous allons commencer l'émission. Mais juste pour rappeler à ceux qui vont nous suivre que cette émission sera bien sûr en anglais. Et bien sûr, cette émission sera en anglais et nous inviterons, si vous avez des questions à poser à notre invité aujourd'hui, vous pouvez toutefois le faire. Si vous avez des questions en français, vous pouvez toutefois les balancer et je serai en mesure de faire la translation, bien sûr, à notre invité aujourd'hui en anglais aujourd'hui. Donc, sans plus tarder, merci d'être avec nous. Nous allons prendre une petite générique et nous allons revenir. Merci. Welcome back today. Today is Saturday, March the 5th, and we are here at Redynamiser Entrepreneuriat en Afrique, and we have a special guest with us today. And I will be more than happy to have you discover who she is. And we are going to ask questions if you have any question. And just want to remind to our subscriber or to our audience that the goal of Redynamiser l'Entrepreneur en Afrique is to help entrepreneurs and investors to meet and to develop this network of business opportunity that one of them can take advantage on. So without further ado, I have today my friend Haley Seaton. How are you doing today, Miss Haley?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today? You look great today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, without further, I have a few questions for you before we start. You know that you are already a fairly well businesswoman in the Togolese diaspora. However, our subscriber would like to discover you even better. Can you tell us who you are?
So I'm actually a scientist by profession. Like I studied human biology in school, and then my job is a scientist for a laboratory. And so I kind of just decided that's not enough for me. So then I started looking into business, entrepreneurship, and I'm self-taught on all of those subjects. And so real estate is my main passion, but there's a lot of other things I've tried as well. I like real estate, investing, Airbnbs, fix and flips, selling houses. And I honestly like to sell anything. Like if someone says I need to sell this, I'm your person. I'll sell it for you. So I've sold furniture, I've sold clothes, I've sold appliances, electronics. So just anything sales is me, but also real estate is my main passion.
Thank you very much for that clarification. So, as we know, you are not only in a real estate business, but you also have that salesman experience, saleswoman, experience that you have. So, as an entrepreneur and investor, you did travel the world quite a bit, and you've been to Europe, you've been to South Africa, and of course, you've been to Africa as well. So please tell us what are your view of doing business on those part of the world, and would you prefer doing business in Europe, Africa, or South Africa, South America? I'm sorry.
I think that doing business, you have to have people you trust, and you have to have a good network of people that you're working with. So if I'm doing business somewhere, I have to really trust who I'm in business with, and I have to feel like I have a good network of people. So if I don't live somewhere, I need to have people that are going to be conducting business for me. Whether I have an Airbnb in a different country, I would need to trust my cleaners. I would need to trust my management. So currently, I actually do not do business in any other country besides the US, because I'm here, because I can control who I work with. And also there's the language barrier. So I don't speak the language in Togo, or, I don't speak French. So I'm a little bit limited to places where either there's somebody there who also speaks English that I trust, or it would be a little hard to do everything through a translator. So currently I only do business here, but I'm not opposed to doing business somewhere else. I would just have to either have really great partners who speak that language and I can count on them, or I would have to have someone there who speaks English that I can talk to, that, helps me with that, with whatever the business is.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. I see that you have a lot on the entrepreneur scene here, like you mentioned earlier. You are in a real estate and you do a lot of sales. You can sell couch, you can sell clothes, you can sell a lot of things. So even though you have your main business in the United States, but you travel to those countries or to those continents, can you tell me the last time when you went to Africa, you went specifically to Togo and Benin and Ghana, since you like visited those countries? Can you tell me, did you had a chance to have a view on the entrepreneurial environment in those countries, especially in Togo, excuse me, Togo, Ghana, and Benin? Can you relate to that? How's the view? What has your view on the entrepreneurial scene in those countries?
So I will tell you that when I was in Ghana, I did go to a factory there. It was like a Chinese-owned company, and I think they sell stuff like diapers and stuff. And so we did negotiate a little bit with them about getting their products, but it wasn't for me. It was for my friend's mom, because she sells items. So we kind of just had a business appointment for her, and we did talk to somebody kind of just about being a supplier, and it was just for diapers for babies. So I just think it would be hard for me personally to do business there. But if you're there, you just need to find something that is a need, and then negotiate a price on it, know your selling price. And then it can be anything, whether it's diapers, whether it's food. I know someone else who kind of got into the rice business in Togo a little bit. And I actually had connected him to the person that said that he knew a supplier. So it's not that hard to you just have to connect with people, find the right people to put you in the network with the right person to talk to. And if you want to supply something, you just need to do the math and see, like, how much is it going to cost you for the item? How do you plan on selling it, and what are you going to sell it for, and see if it's worth it or not. And then be a great negotiator, negotiate a good base price for whoever you're buying the product from.
Okay. Well, I think you already answered this question, but I'm going to press on again on the same question. I know that you said that while you've been to Africa, you've been to Togo, Benin, Ghana, and you had this negotiation that happened in Ghana. However, my question, I'm going to press again, based on your view on what you observe in Ghana or in Togo. Is there a possibility that you're going to be in the future, if you have, of course, a good partner that you can rely on, who can help you do the communications? Would you be able to do a business in Africa, especially in Ghana, Togo, or in Benin, since you've been to those countries?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. It's not anything that I have in the works right now, but there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of things that people need that you can find a way to supply. So, if I had the right partner and we had the right product, yeah, I'm open to doing business there. And also real estate, if the price makes sense, if it's cheap enough to build an apartment complex and then do the math on what the rents are, then yeah, like I would be open to investing there.
Speaking of building an apartment complex, we have a friend of us. His name is Claude, but on YouTube he's called a Smart African Investor. He said something right quick. He said, "I know who to go when it comes to sales." So I guess you are already a reference for us in this in our community here, and of course we love you for what you do, and we appreciate the work that you do so far. But let's come back to the real estate. So basically, it's always a great pleasure knowing your view. But can you tell us a little bit your real estate initiative and opportunities that you have here in the US, and how did you start it? And my other question I wanted to add to that is, okay, would you relate to maybe based on the real estate market here, would you implement that same business in Africa, maybe in Togo? I know you already talk about having a translator or a good partner, but tell us about your beginning in a real estate in the United States and how you can project yourself doing that same type of business in Africa or in Togo or in Ghana.
Okay. So I first started with Airbnb. I had an apartment that I was renting, and I didn't want to live there anymore. And so it was kind of a financial problem. If you have an apartment, you owe the rent every month for it. But I was like, well, I don't want to live here. I don't want to pay the rent. So I looked into Airbnb. The place was already furnished. It had nice furnishing, had everything, you needed to live there, plates, forks. So I just went ahead and listed it. And I listed it actually in December. And I guess a lot of people were traveling for the holidays, Christmas. And I had like a 94% occupancy in my first month on Airbnb, which is pretty good. And so I was able to pay the rent, pay the utilities, and profit. And so I continued to Airbnb that apartment until the lease was over. And then I was kind of doing it under the table. Like I didn't, have that on the agreement when I signed that it was going to be an Airbnb, which if you are going to have a rental arbitrage, which is what that's called, you need to be upfront when you sign the lease and say, hey, I'm going to be using this for a short-term rental. I'll be managing it. And, they need to be okay with that. And there's also laws that only a certain percentage of a building can be used for short-term rental. So you have to make sure that you're within those laws. So I kind of got into it and just skipped a lot of steps, but that was kind of a learning process. And then I also had a friend who was out of the country for a while. So while he was gone, I Airbnb'd his apartment and made some money on that. And then I actually found like a network of people in Kansas City who wanted to do like an actual legitimate Airbnb business and run it. And so they brought me in as part of the team, and we had 7 different units that we were managing.
Wow.
And and those were all under an LLC, and it was definitely more legit. So that was kind of my intro into real estate. And then I decided to learn a little bit more about other opportunities. So I learned about wholesaling, which is where you sell a contract to buy a property. And so I've been doing that. I actually have a deal that should be closing in 5 days. So
congratulations
about that. Yeah. And that's what I focused a lot on after Airbnb. And I'm actually not currently managing any Airbnbs. I'm invested in some, but I don't manage them anymore. It's pretty time consuming. And it's definitely like you need to be available 24 hours a day, because if a guest has a problem at 4 a.m., and you're the person managing it, you have to be available to fix that problem. So it can be a little bit stressful to manage something and have to be available all the time. So I'm a private money lender on an Airbnb business, but I'm not currently managing any Airbnb businesses. And so for wholesaling, the way that works is you find somebody that has a kind of a bad property, like a property that isn't probably livable. Like a real estate agent wouldn't want to list it on the market and have someone just move in. Like maybe the furnace is broken, maybe the house had a fire, maybe there's mold, and it needs significant improvements on the house. So it needs somebody with a lot of capital, maybe 40, 50, 60, 70,000 to get that house livable again. So I'll put the house under contract and then find an investor and then sell them the contract. So that's kind of how wholesaling works. And I'm not sure if that's possible in Africa or not. I actually don't know how sales go in Africa. So I don't even know if wholesaling is a possible business there, but I know Airbnb is. So I know Claude does that. And so he's probably more of an expert on that subject, but I definitely know Airbnb works there.
Okay, thank you very much. You mentioned two things. You mentioned the Airbnb and versus the wholesale. Can you? It looks like you prefer the wholesale instead of the Airbnb. Is that correct?
I like wholesaling better for me. Yeah, that's just what I've found that I prefer.
Can you tell us why you prefer the wholesale instead of
Airbnb? I think kind of like you said before, like I like sales, and so wholesaling is sales. Like I'm listing a house for a price, and then I'm getting that price, whether the price is 10,000 or 100,000. I'm finding the buyer to pay me all the money up front. I'm not dealing with financing or mortgages, so it's just selling an item for a price, and I think that's just what I like. So Airbnb is definitely, you deal with a lot more just small little issues like broken plates or somebody got a rug dirty, and I just don't like dealing with all those little small things and having to go buy a new plate, or someone says they're out of toilet paper, you have to run and bring them toilet paper. So I just don't like to spend my time doing those small things. And so that's why I didn't really like managing the Airbnbs.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Just to remind to our viewers that we're here with Haley Seaton. She's an investor in real estate, and of course, she's an entrepreneur. And she just told us a little bit about herself, what she has done so far in the past. She's been to Africa, and she believes also there is an opportunity in Africa, even though she is not fully invested into that. However, she believes that if she has a good partner that she can rely on, of course, you'll be more than happy to work with that partner. And I can definitely tell Miss Haley Seaton that we have, of course, Claude, a smart African investor that are going to be probably a good partner if you ever intend to do business in Africa. So let me ask you this question. What kind of advice would you give us for us who maybe are thinking on investing in a real estate? What kind of advice would you give to us?
I would say start with education, whether it's watching YouTube videos, whether it's going on Audible and downloading a book that you listen to, even just like while you're driving, or just start listening to somebody who has experience and see what they've done and see how you can apply it to whatever you want to do. So education is definitely the first thing you need to do. I definitely got education on wholesaling before I did it. There's a lot of components, legal documents. Like you really have to kind of know what you're doing. You don't want to go into something inexperienced, or you probably won't have a good time with it, and it will just discourage you from continuing.
Gotcha. I see. Thank you very much. Education is the key. So to our viewers, if you are interested in starting a business in a real estate, like Miss Haley just advised us, you got to get yourself together. Watch videos on YouTube. That's the key, where you can improve yourself, and then you can start your business. So, Miss Haley, I have another question for you. What is it possible that someone can enter into partnership with you, such as real estate here in Africa? Oh, no, I'm sorry, in the United States. And then if someone reach out to you, say, hey, Haley, after watching this video, I believe that at this interview, I believe that we can do business in Africa. Is this something you are open to do? Or maybe if someone reach out to you to support him in a real estate venture, is this something are you willing to do as well?
Yeah, I've worked with multiple partners on different projects, and I've had good experiences and bad experiences. So I think you need to make sure your visions align and your financial goals align. And, before you start a venture with somebody, make sure everyone's on the same page, or else you'll be disappointed and probably have conflicts. So I think those kind of things have to be discussed first. And then you need to have a written agreement. You need everything in writing. You should have everything formed under an LLC so that your partnership is, all the expectations are laid out and there's legal contracts and everything. And yeah, I'm open to it. So
you're open to it. Thank you very much. Thanks for letting us know that you are definitely open to doing businesses with maybe young entrepreneur who would like to venture in the real estate world, since you have that experience already. One of the things that maybe we haven't talked about, but I'm going to drop it on you today. I heard also that you have some knowledge in in stock market. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I definitely don't consider myself like an expert in the stock market. I do invest. I invest monthly. I have different avenues of investing.
Yeah.
But to invest in the stock market, it's kind of the same thing. You want to get the education about it, but also just invest in companies that you use, because if you're using it, it's likely a lot of other people are. And it's likely that that company is going to continue to grow. So if it's like you use Uber all the time and you like it, go ahead and invest in it. And that's more for like long-term investing. So just choose the companies that you think you want to stand behind and you don't mind holding on to their stock for years to come.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We have a lot of comments here. The first one I just said, that smart African investor. He said, I know who to go to when it comes to sell. He replied again, say, thank you. I love you guys. We have another comments from definitely interested in doing business with you. We have another comment that say, wow. And we have another comment that came through here. I see you, Dalia. Well, those are 6-7 comments that we have so far. Thank you very much. Haley, just I don't want to take much of your time. Would you tell us that a final word? What are your goals? Maybe here in the United States and maybe in Africa in the future. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So my goals here, I definitely want to continue real estate. I'd like to get into actually owning rental properties and probably multifamily properties. So that's kind of my next goal, is instead of just making money in real estate, I need to start investing and owning real estate as well. So I'd be open to owning properties in Africa too, if it's an apartment complex,
Yeah.
If
and I would love to manage those for you if you want.
if the numbers work, the numbers work. But
Yes.
yeah, I definitely want to start building a portfolio of properties. I've been strongly considering getting a real estate license so that I can also sell homes for people that are more traditional home buyers and just want to get a mortgage, or somebody that needs to list a house that has nothing wrong with it. It makes more sense to just list that on the MLS. So I'd like to just be able to serve more buyers and sellers in real estate, and then invest more in real estate and actually own like some complexes, or even be part of a syndication where I just invest just an amount and own like a percentage of a complex and see the dividends from that. So those are kind of my goals going forward.
All right. Hopefully, here at Redynamiser L Entrepreneuriat Afrique, we'll be able to follow through with you, check with you sometimes this year or next year to see how things has been going with your goal. And we hope, if you don't mind, I will probably make sure that since you are already in the real estate here in the United States, we can bring forth someone who already in the real estate in Togo elsewhere, so we can have an interview and talk a little bit more about your about how to combine, or maybe see the business opportunity ahead. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'd be open to that.
Okay, I had just have another information here. Someone just say, "Hey, I would like to do business with you in Africa. Can I have her number?" well, well, that I'll definitely make sure that okay, we get back to you uh, on this person who just asked that question, because I don't think that's appropriate to release number of our guests like that. So thank you very much, Haley. I'm not going to take much of your time. I really appreciate the opportunity you gave us today. I really appreciate the time that you took to come over and share with us your experience and your goals. And we really hope, since you have these strong ties in the Togolese community here in the United States, we hope that we will be doing business with you on a different level, even though in Africa or here, we are hoping for that. Thank you very much for your time that you spent with us, and we hope to see you definitely next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.